You're listening to A Whale of an Idea 5.0.
Welcome, everybody. Again, this is Leslie Robert Wolfe with whaleofanidea.net and also the founder of nextlevelx.com, the ultimate crowdfunding platform. And today our guests are Eugene Lachenko and Greg Brooks, and they've got something very interesting. If you have a Gmail account, and I imagine most of you do, you know that they've kind of made some new twists and turns to it that doesn't make it all that easy for people to use anymore. And so basically what these guys have done is they've come up with a system by which you can sort of go back to the old way of using your Gmail and back to the way you probably liked it. Eugene, Greg, are you guys there?
Yep. How you doing, Leslie?
Good. Well, to begin with, why don't you kind of tell our audience exactly what it is that you do in relationship to helping them out with their Gmail accounts?
Yeah, sure. So Old Compose is an extension for both Google Chrome and Firefox, and essentially we do a number of things. The first major issue that we tackled was restoring your actual Compose settings. So Google implemented and mandated all these changes when you write an email, and when you respond to an email, they gave you a tiny box. They made it really difficult to see your formatting. You needed to make a bunch of extra clicks in order to make sure that your email was sent the way that you were used to, and it was sort of distracting, and it really killed people's productivity. So we simply just restored the interface to be exactly the way that it used to be, where you have that full Compose window. And secondly, Gmail implemented tabs. They have a promotions tab, a primary tab, a social tab. There's 5 in total. And the issue there is users actually not getting emails that they really need, whether that's something for school or whether that's a banking alert, or if you're a parent and you just have a kid and you need an update about them. It's very possible that you're not getting those emails. In fact, it's more than possible. It's documented that that's the case, and many users don't even know that these tabs exist. So we reverted to a tabless system as well.
I know she said that with the Chrome browser and the Firefox browser, is it that your thing will work with those browsers only or with other ones as well?
Right now we're just focused on those 2 browsers because that's what the majority of our users are on. But
I believe Chrome's the number 1 browser out there, and I know a lot of people are using Firefox. So I agree. So the idea is that if they open up their Gmail account through Chrome or Firefox, then they can implement what you have, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, what made you, try to come up with this concept in order for people to help people with it? What gave you the idea to go ahead and create this product?
Well, we like to create products that people want rather than try to create some random product and start convincing people that they really want this. And I was just reading a lot of tweets of people that I follow complaining about the new Compose, and then I was reading a lot of message boards about people just like hating this. I've never seen a response like this before about people complaining about a change on a platform that they use so many times during the day. I mean, if you think about how many hours, like billing by the minute, you spend on email, especially Gmail, it's frightening. And if you're upset with your experience, most of the day you're spent frustrated at your computer. I mean, that's definitely not how you want to spend most of your day. So we saw this, and we were like, we definitely need to, help these people out. And so we came up with Old Compose.
Very good. And by the way, everybody, if you want to be able to get more information about Old Compose, the website's pretty simple, and of course it'll be right above the video or just below it, but it's oldcompose.com, just like it's spelled, oldcompose.com. How long ago how long have you had this out on the market?
I think it was like almost 2 months.
And what kind of response are you getting so far?
Greg can definitely back me up on this, but we get about a couple of emails a week with like, thank God this is here. Like, I don't think I've ever worked on a project, and I don't know if Greg has ever worked on a project where you get such overwhelming feedback of like, you're doing such amazing things. It's not that we're like, curing diseases, but again, like I said, we're making people's day, they were miserable with the new Compose. They really hated the experience, and now we're bringing them back to that nostalgic feel and bringing those good feelings to them. And that's why we get those really amazing responses, and it really is gratifying.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and it's pretty immediate as well, where I think that the day one that we pushed the product out, Eugene pushed out a message to a bunch of different major blogs and basically said, hey, I know you guys are frustrated about this. We came out with Old Compose. Here's a fix. And on day one of our product launch, we had a front page article on Lifehacker, which was pretty cool. And as Eugene said, we get emails daily ranging from where's your donate button to will you have my child. So it's pretty gratifying to see the response from everybody and know that you're doing something that absolutely increases others' productivity and just makes them happier in general.
Is it a pretty simple learning curve? I mean, basically once they sort of plug it in, if you will, just they click on the Old Compose and they're just home sweet home?
It's easier than that. All you have to do is install the plugin and install the extension, and then you're done because you're already used to everything that we give you. You've been using it for years, and it was just sort of taken away, and now it's returned to you.
Okay, so here's the old $64,000 question. How much does your application cost?
It costs $64,000 less than your question.
So in other words, people get this for free?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Now, is it a trial period thing, or is it just free, period?
Nope. It's full service, free to download, free to use, free to enjoy, free to pass on to your friends, that sort of thing.
Very good. Will it also work on Mac as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it works on PC and Mac just the same way. Linux. Doesn't matter what system you have. Doesn't matter as long as it's Chrome and as long as it's Firefox. Everything works lovely.
It also work through like an iPhone, iPad, and that kind of thing too as well.
It doesn't because we haven't been seeing that the way that you consume Gmail through an iPhone per se is it looks completely different than your web interface, and it hasn't really changed. I mean, you can't really do too much with 4.5 inch screen. So they really didn't make changes. So we didn't go and undo those changes that they did make.
Yeah, I kind of figured that, but had to ask.
Of course.
So are you constantly trying to improve upon it, maybe even adding some additional cool functions and features, anything like that you're working on?
Yeah, we're always looking to improve it. What's that?
I said Greg's much better at answering this question than I am.
Yeah, we're definitely always looking to improve it because there's admittedly have been positive changes that the new Gmail brought. A couple off the top of my head that are pretty neat. You have Google Wallet integration. You have Google Drive integration. You have, some people do like the new Compose setting when they're doing certain things, such as replying. So our first iteration was simply restoring the Compose setting, but what we've done since then is the tab functionality, removing that and sort of restoring emails to your inbox the way that you intended for them to be. But also we have some cool things in the work right now that sort of take a hybrid approach to both the old and new Compose and sort of give you that interface and those lovely, beautiful designs and settings that you're familiar with, but also add in a couple of the new features and functionality from the, quote, new Compose.
How do the people at Google feel about what you've got? It doesn't hurt them anyway, but I'm just out of curiosity. Have you gotten any feedback on that at all?
Google knows of our existence, which was a lot sooner than we were expecting, but at the same time, they're Google. Maybe we should have been expecting it as soon as it was. They're okay with it. It's not really something that they have the desire to squash or have basically spoken out against. They are firm in their ways, and they're going to continue with their new Compose that's been announced many different times from various Google parts and people. But it's sort of just we both mutually exist.
Yeah, I guess one way they could look at it is, hey, these guys did it for us for free, so thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one way of looking at it. So Well, what are your plans for the future now? What is it that you're going to be doing? How are you going to be taking oldcompose.com to the next level?
Well, we have every sort of the iterations and the new features where we blend the two different compose settings together. But as far as old compose goes, it's sort of more of the same. The beauty in the product itself was the simplicity, the fact that we didn't try to stuff it with too many features and capabilities because, hey, what do I want to do? I want to get that hour a day that's been stripped away from me back. I want to go with something that I'm familiar with. I want to go with something that I already know. I want to receive all my emails, so I don't want tabs in there. But beyond that, we don't want too many kind of buttons because our goal is to make things easier and more simple for the user as opposed to sort of oversaturate them or overwhelm them with tabs and knobs because that's sort of what the whole issue with Google was in the first place. They made something that wasn't complicated and that wasn't a mess into something that is complicated and is messy. So we're obviously looking to avoid falling into the same trap.
Right. Here's a couple things that I have discovered. I use Camtasia with video, and Mac came out. The Camtasia finally came out with a version for Mac. And when they first came out with that, I thought, well, hey, they probably just duplicated the one they had for PC and just duplicated it for Mac. So when I got it and I opened up, the first thing I discovered, it's going to be a 4 or 5 hour learning curve. Just to figure out where everything is. And I was thinking, why'd you do that? Why don't you just take what people kind of know and just duplicate it? And I see this happening a lot with people with apps and software and everything. They'll create something, a whole new look, and all of a sudden everybody's got to spend hours trying to find where everything is. And why do that? Add value, but don't take value away. There's only really one company out there that I see out there that's really did a good job of that, and that's at dictionary.com. At dictionary.com, right at the top of their page, you have a thing, because they've created a new version, right, a new look. But if you don't like it, right at the top of the page says, click here to see the old version. I thought, well,
right.
Last I had a clue. So I really like what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
It'd be cool if you could expand that into other softwares and other things out there, too, the same kind of concept, because most of those guys don't get it.
It's funny because we get requests like that all the time. I was just talking to Eugene the other day about how, actually he brought this to my attention. He said, do you see all these Yahoo Mail requests that we're getting? And I said, what the heck are you talking about? We were just focusing on Google. And he said, yeah, but apparently Yahoo changed what they were doing too, and now all of our users are just spamming our inbox and saying, oh man, Yahoo just made the same mistake that Google did. Can you guys fix this too? And we're also getting requests from other people saying, oh, can you add in this functionality? Can you add in that? In the same vein where, hey, something was there and then a quote-unquote improvement was made, but that's an opinion that it was an improvement, and can you kind of restore it? So I think that there's definitely a future there for us, but we're more in the business of knowing where we can make the biggest impact and doing it with sort of the lowest and smallest footprint possible. So there's definitely other opportunities out there for us to head in as well.
Right. Well, I appreciate and really like what you're doing, and from a marketing aspect, because usually on each show we talk a little bit about marketing, but this way you get your list going because you're giving them incredible value at no cost. And at some point when you do add optional fantastic functions or features, that's a little of an upgrade potentiality there. Nothing wrong with that.
Right. And that's one of the things, too, because a lot of users come to us and they say, where is your donate button? We were on the phone with a few people a couple of weeks ago who said, we want to be on the phone with you giving you advice right now because we want to see you in business. We want you to make money off this because we want to be able to continue using this product. We want you guys to continue supporting it. So one of the big learning experiences for us was actually people are kind of on the same team as us. It's okay to make money from something when you're giving somebody value. The issue I think that a lot of people have is just sort of trying to make money in lieu of providing value.
Right. I totally agree. Okay, guys, I think we pretty much covered everything, but any final words, anything that we haven't talked about that you'd like to spill the beans on?
I think we're going to keep our beans to ourselves for now, but unless you have something else, Eugene.
In terms of bean spilling, I can't really think of anything, but what we do really like is getting feedback from our users, and we do implement a lot of, or definitely heavily consider a lot of the feedback that we get from our users. Some of the best marketing ideas actually came from a couple of our users. So I just recommend anyone to try it and let us know what they think, what they would change, any ideas that we have, because, we're giving this product away for free, and we'd love for everyone to, get back to the optimal old compose. So yeah, just let us know what you guys think, and that's all I can ask for.
Echoing Eugene, our last 3 major iterations have come directly from suggestions that users have made. So absolutely agree with him.
Yeah, I really like Freddie feedback, because he's the ultimate guru.
Right.
Freddie feedback. Okay, we've been talking with Eugene Lachenko and Greg Brooks with oldcompose.com. Hey, if you missed the old Gmail, now you can have it right back again, and it's free. What can you say? Okay, everybody, we're going to go ahead and close out the program, and remember, why play with the sharks when you can swim with the whales? We'll see you on the next show.